No, today we are going back to the 18th century and making a Parmesan cheese.
I have questions. Before watching this, I would have made this anyway. Thank God I have my glass of wine. I think I said worse crimes earlier, actually. Fair. All right. You know what? We clicked the video already. Let's go. Let's go.
Ice cream. So thank you to Wondrium for sponsoring this video on Parmesan cheese ice cream. Perhaps Gene Parmesan's greatest disguise.
Oh my goodness.
Gene! Oh, Gene, isn't he the best?
This time on Tasting History.
This is gonna be wild. Oh my God. I can't
So it
wait.
seems kind of weird. Cheese in ice cream. Or rather, it seems like a flavor that would be made in some hoity-toity New York restaurant, like wasabi ice cream or garlic ice cream, both of which I have.
I was about to say I have tried wasabi ice cream before. Not bad. However, my favorite still is the olive oil gelato I made back in culinary school. I still have that recipe. It's still really fucking good. It's still really fucking good.
Right. But in the 18th century, they were more adventurous with flavors than Ben, Jerry, Baskin, and Robbins combined. And many
Clever
of the weird
editing right
flavors,
there.
of which
Like
we
that.
will speak, come from The Complete Confectioner by the Englishman Frederick Nutt, written in 1789.
Frederick Nutt.
And that's where we get today's recipe. Number 150, Parmesan cheese ice cream. Take 6 eggs, half a pint of syrup, and a pint of cream. Put them into
Okay.
a stew pan and boil them until it begins to thicken.
Okay.
Then rasp 3 ounces of Parmesan cheese, mix and pass them through a sieve, and freeze it. It's
Huh.
actually really simple, and since it was written
These
before the
Frederick
imperial
nuts.
pint was around, I didn't have to do a lot of math to make the conversion to modern American units. So for this recipe, I need 6 eggs. 6 medium eggs to be specific, because eggs were smaller back then, but if you are using extra large eggs, use 5, and it's not going to make much of a difference. Also, what does make a difference is they need to be at room temperature.
Yes.
1 cup or 235 milliliters simple syrup, 2 cups or 475 milliliters heavy cream, and 3 ounces or 85 grams freshly grated Parmesan. And it has to be freshly grated, because if you buy pre-grated, they usually add other things to make it so the gratings or shavings don't melt together, but that's also going to make it so they don't melt in the ice cream, and that's going to be gross.
I was about to say this is gonna be pretty
first,
gross.
whisk your room temperature eggs in a medium saucepan, and then add the cream and the syrup and whisk to combine.
Okie dokie.
Then set it over a low heat on the stove, and don't be tempted to raise the heat because you don't think anything's happening, because
You're gonna end up with scrambled eggs.
Also,
Yeah.
once it does start to get warm, you'll want to start stirring it continuously so it stays perfectly smooth. Now,
Yeah.
it should start to thicken right around 170 degrees Fahrenheit or 76 degrees Celsius. And you don't want to let it go too much above that because, again, scrambled eggs.
Yep.
If you don't have a thermometer, you can just do it by taking a spoon, dipping it in the custard, and running your finger over the back of the spoon.
The nappe
If it leaves
test.
a defined line, your custard is ready.
The nappe
At this
test.
point, take the pan off
Yeah.
the heat and add in
See,
the
Bird knows what I'm
Parmesan
talking
cheese,
about. Hell
whisking
yes.
until it's all melted. Then pour the mixture through a sieve into a clean bowl and let it cool. And speaking of cool,
The
nothing is
nappe
cooler than
test.
learning. And a
It's
great
the
way to
nappe
learn is
test.
with today's sponsor,
Every chef
Wondrium.
knows that.
Your brain is going to love this place. Now, if you've watched this channel before, you've probably heard me talk about the Great Courses Plus. And the team over there has taken the Great Courses Plus and, in the
Is
words
it
of
called
Walt
that
Disney,
because you
plus
did
they've
it on the
added a
nape of
bunch
someone's
new
neck?
stuff
No,
to
no, no, no,
create.
no, no.
So if you've ever wondered about pretty much anything, Wondrium is going to be your new favorite place. And they are offering a free trial for the viewers of Tasting History. Just click the link, wondrium.com/tastinghistory
God
in the
damn it,
description below to start your free trial today.
Funny.
Now, once your Parmesan custard has cooled, it is time to freeze it. Now, you
Chill
can
out.
use an old-style manual churning and freezing technique, or you can use a modern one. They pretty much tend to do the exact same thing. But regardless of what you use to churn your ice cream, go ahead and hit that like button, and as your ice cream churns, let me churn you up the story of ice cream.
history.
So
Oh,
ice
that sound
foods
effect
and
that
ice
plays is
drinks
great.
are really nothing new. The ancient Romans and the Greeks both took mountain snow and put honey and wine over them.
Yep.
And Athenaeus describes Greek ice houses to keep it cold. In the island of Kimolos, underground refrigerators are constructed in summer, where the people store jars full of warm water and draw them out again as cold as snow. Well, how about that? Now, further east, in China, during the Tang Dynasty, they were heating fermented milk with camphor, then letting it cool and pouring it over ice. And in 4th century Japan, Emperor Nintoku declared June 1st to be National Ice Day, though he was using it mostly to chill his sake.
Nothing wrong with that.
Would really be considered ice cream like today. The fermented milk is probably the closest thing. Now, the next real step in ice cream's evolution, which actually didn't involve cream, took place in 11th century Arabia and Persia. They made something called sharbat, or serbet. And we get a detailed description of it from Sir Thomas Herbert on his travels.
So that's where that word comes from. Oh, that's cool.
Their liquor is sometimes fair water, sugar, rose water, and juice of lemons mixed, and sugar confected with citrons, violets, or other sweet flowers. And for the more delicacy, sometimes a mixture of amber. This we call sherbet. That liquid was then poured over crushed ice or snow, much like
say, pretty sure Sorbet was the cousin then, yeah.
Finally made its way to medieval
There's a Simpsons joke in there somewhere. I'm not sure, but I'm going to be confusing this video with something else. Fair, Perso, fair.
Likely not Marco Polo, even though he almost always gets the credit. But when it did get there, they called it sorbetto, something the French would later call
sorbet. Yes.
Sorbet? My kids do not eat sorbet. They eat sherbet, and they pronounce it sherbet, and they wish it was ice cream.
There it is. There it is, Perso. There it
In
is.
1558, Giambattista della Porta described a wine
I just feel like culinary anthropology. This channel scratches that itch. It's really good.
Saltpeter.
It's really, really good.
Now, that combination had been used in freezing and preserving foods all over the world for a very long time.
This channel's really good. Holy cow.
That it was used to make anything like ice cream.
Uh-huh.
Now, it's also around this time that doctors began to weigh in on the dangers of this cold dessert. Cold food and drink had been taboo since Hippocrates and Galen, for as the Byzantine physician Antimus wrote, the stomach grows chilled and loses its efficacy. And later, European doctors would take that even further to claim that iced foods and even just putting ice in drinks could lead to blindness, paralysis, or even sudden death.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad we've gotten past that.
Ever-evolving frozen treat. And one
these fuckers believe in the four humors, so whatever. Exactly.
Antonio Lentini wrote a recipe for what he called milk sorbet, a precursor to gelato.
Yes.
It was flavored with lemon and pumpkin, and frozen with snow and salt. And it really only took one more ingredient to make ice cream, and that was eggs. And Europeans had been making egg custards for centuries, though they usually used them in baking or just served them kind of at room temperature. They had names like cream almond and crema catalana, and surely someone making these creams saw what Lentini had done and said, well, if he can freeze that, I can freeze this. And thus was born ice cream.
That tracks.
Around this same time, 1686, a Sicilian, Francesco Procopio Cuto, moved to Paris and opened Il Procope, which is believed to be the first Parisian cafe and ice cream.
Ice in my cup can kill me, not the other way around.
An ice cream or crème glacée craze in France, at least amongst the wealthy, because pretty much all of the ingredients
were really expensive at this point. Yeah,
ice,
that checks.
Sugar plus fancy flavorings like chocolate, anise, coffee, vanilla, and some weird ones like artichoke, avocado, asparagus, and foie gras.
What? I'm sorry, what? No, sir, don't like that. No, sir, don't like that at all. Whoo.
There's even one recipe that calls for hartshorn,
which
is like shavings or gratings from the antlers of a stag, a male deer.
What the fuck were people on? What the fuck were people on? Oh my god. The French must be stopped. Well, so you see, Chef, have you considered opium? Fair. You know what? Fair. Fair. Yeah. Understood. Have a nice day.
And it gave off kind of an ammonia scent. It was actually used later on in smelling salts, but they were putting it in ice cream. And just like you might add texture today with sprinkles or chopped nuts, they would add texture to their ice cream in the form of dried rye breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Which actually kind of weird sounding, but I bet it's pretty good. So it's not that weird that our recipe today uses Parmesan cheese, especially when you consider that one of the early names in France for ice cream was cheese, fromage glacé. Not because it was actually made with cheese, but because it would be frozen in molds, the same molds that were used to mold cheese. And I'm sure this is not the case, but I do kind of wonder, was the first person who added cheese to ice cream just making an error in translation? All right, then it says we just add a bit of cheese. Cheese, did you say? That doesn't seem right. It says right here, fromage. I took 2 semesters of French, so don't question me. Just add the cheese and let me go on with my work. Frederick Nutt, the author of our recipe today, also mentions
I wouldn't be surprised.
using molds to freeze the ice cream, though by the time he was writing, it wouldn't have been big cheese molds, but smaller molds that were usually in the shape of people or animals or foods like mushrooms or pineapples. Now you may remember I did a deep dive on the art of cookery made plain and easy by Hannah Glass in the episode on everlasting syllabub. And in it, I read some passages that kind of sounded like she was talking down to her audience. And many people said, oh, she wasn't. It was tongue-in-cheek.
It's funny to imagine a Mr. Freeze-esque fungus that chills things.
But then I read her ice cream recipe, and I got a question. Does she kind of think her readers are maybe a little dumb?
Uh-oh.
Take 2 pewter basins. These things are made at the Puteris.
Do I look like an idiot?
No. And recently, a viewer sent me an early edition of that book. I think it's from the 1760s. I'm not even going to open it because it's so delicate. I want to have it rebound. It's probably the last time I'll ever touch it with my bare hands. But it's like having a bit of history here in the house. It's just overwhelming. So thank you so much to Shannon for entrusting
That's
me
wild.
with
Holy
this
cow, that's old.
piece of art, because that's really what it is. So ice cream had become quite popular now in England.
Okay.
But were they eating it in the colonies? Well, as early as 1700, we do have some evidence that it was being enjoyed. But what really made it take off
That cartoon face was wild,
were our
yeah.
presidents. While serving as ambassador to France in the 1780s, Thomas Jefferson became enamored with ice cream. And when he returned to Monticello, he did so with a handwritten recipe for French vanilla ice cream. At the same time, George Washington was falling in love with the confection, as he was known to own 2 pewter ice cream pots, which I assume were made at the Puteris. He also had a 306-piece serving set.
What the fuck? 306?
And in the summer of 1790 in New York City, he spent $200 on ice cream.
What the hell?
$5,000 in today's money, which coincidentally is the exact amount that I've set aside for my ice cream budget. Then on Inauguration Day in 1813, James Madison, notoriously shy, had requested that First Lady Dolly Madison, avid partier, arrange a small gathering. So, of course, she invited 400 people over to the White House to enjoy what would be the first inaugural ice cream social.
Nice. Okay, that's cool.
20,000 of Andrew Jackson's supporters crowded into the White House to celebrate his inauguration. They tracked in mud and destroyed the furniture and had to be coaxed outside with ice cream and whiskey.
Good combo.
Is a wonderful combination.
Solid combo.
Though despite the claim that ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream, it did have its detractors. Why needs any man be rich? Why must he have horses, fine garments, handsome apartments? Only for want of thought. We dare not trust our wit for making our house pleasant to our friend, and so we buy ice creams. That was the great Ralph Waldo Emerson,
Okay.
who I'm guessing did not get invited to a lot of parties. He probably wasn't too thrilled
TBH, I
with
heard
the
Andrew
idea that
Jackson
ice
supporters
cream
unexpected
was about to
overthrow the
get
government.
democratized.
Also fair.
In 1843,
Also
Nancy
fair.
Johnson of Philadelphia patented a mechanical ice cream machine that sped up the process of making ice cream so much that it really ushered in the commercial ice cream industry.
Yeah, buddy.
Why she doesn't have a national holiday or a place on Mount Rushmore, perhaps, I do not know, because the woman should be a national hero. Also, what's cool is, even though mine is electric and hers wasn't, the general idea of how it works is pretty much unchanged.
Ice cream trends
And
are
I
like
don't know if
magic.
it's her machine exactly.
Like,
that made it
legitimately?
into the 1850 edition of Goody's Lady's Book, edited by abolitionist Sarah Josepha Hale of Mary Had a Little Lamb fame. But I
Oh
love
my
the
God,
sentiment,
really?
and
Wow.
So I'm going to read it anyway. We do not think that we can do our lady
Oh,
readers
nice,
a
Percival,
greater
that sounds
service
good.
than introducing to their notice
That sounds good.
a recent valuable invention in the shape of an ice cream freezer and beater.
Ooh.
Ice cream has now become one of the necessary luxuries of life.
Damn right.
A party or a social entertainment could hardly be thought of without this indispensable requisition. Other delicacies might be omitted by
Agreed.
substituting other
Listen, I'm
articles
lactose
instead,
intolerant. I don't
but
give a shit. I
nothing
still
can
love ice cream.
supply
As long
the
as I have
place
lactate
of
first,
ice
I'm
cream.
fine.
Here, take that, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Now, while Miss Johnson was bringing ice cream to the masses on a large scale, the Hokey Pokey men, not to be confused with the Hokey Pokemon, were bringing ice cream to the masses
Amazing.
on a small scale. Through the 19th century, Italian immigrants, many of the same saints that brought us pizza, traveled
yes.
to places like the US, Germany, and Scotland, and with them, they brought their own form of ice cream, gelato.
I love a
made
good
with milk
gelato.
instead of cream.
I love a
They
good
would sell it
gelato.
on the streets from little carts and were called Hokey Pokey men because of what they shouted. Some variant of either gelati, ecco un poco, which meant ice cream, here's a little, or even closer to Hokey Pokey, o che poco, meaning oh so little, probably referring to the price because
Oh,
it was
that
dirt
check.
cheap.
That's cool.
Here's the stuff to make you jump. Hokey Pokey penny a lump. Hokey Pokey sweet and cold for a penny, new or old. In the 1897 Old London Street Cries, Andrew Tour wrote that, for obvious reasons, spoons are not lent. The soft and half-frozen delicacy is consumed by the combined aid of tongue and fingers. He says that it could also be frozen hard
Already?
as a brick and then wrapped in paper so you could
That's a
take
choice.
it to go.
I don't know if he still
Something
does it before the first few years. He
clearly
had
was not
a
happening everywhere
plush with
because
different
around the
Pokemon
same
in the
time
background of
New York
every
City,
video.
It was often sold by the lick. Outside,
yeah, no, I
on
see
the
that.
streets of New York, you would get a cup of ice cream, and then you would lick the ice cream out and hand the cup back, get another scoop in to go to the next customer. This was clearly before New York started.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 Oh, that is so unsanitary. Oh my God! No! Ugh. Ew! Oh, I hate that.
Their restaurant health board rating system. Unfortunately for the Hokey
This is
Pokey
what those
men,
doctors should have been mad
unfortunately for the
about.
customers,
Yeah.
New refrigeration technologies and the invention of the soda fountain ushered in the age of the ice cream parlor
Yes.
and the drugstore sodager.
Hot dog!
That was George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life, who was a soda jerk. And if you've never seen that movie, it's one of my favorites, and you should watch it. It's a Christmas movie, but watch it anytime.
It's a classic, honestly.
Anyway, these pharmacy ice cream shops became a crucible for some real ice cream ingenuity.
Yes.
Banana splits, parfaits, and the classic ice cream sundae. Now, several cities claim to have originated the ice cream sundae, and I will not weigh in on which one is correct, though Ithaca, New York is the first to provide some written evidence from 1892.
Interesting.
But regardless of where you go, the story tends to pretty much be the same. Supposedly, due to the blue laws of America at the time, and still in some parts of America today,
That checks.
selling ice cream sodas on the Sabbath was seen as sinful. So some smart-aleck soda jerk decided to circumvent the statute by substituting soda with syrups and whipped cream, and then bedighting them with a cherry. Thus, the cherry sundae.
Smart.
These ice cream parlors remain
Smart.
hangouts mostly for kids and teens. As the Chicago Tribune put it, only little girls and dudes drink ice cream
And
soda.
dudes.
That is until the 1920s when prohibition made alcohol
And
illegal.
dudes.
When all the saloons closed, then the pharmacy got hopping. Ice cream became cool with pretty much everyone, as it should be, and it allowed nimble brewers like Anheuser-Busch and Yuengling to stay in business by switching their business model from making beer to making ice cream. and then it switched back in the 30s.
Huh.
Now from there, the story of
Interesting.
ice cream really blows up because it just takes over the world and becomes popular absolutely everywhere. And so I'm actually going to leave it there for today because I can't do the rest of its history, the 20th century, real justice until maybe I do another form of ice cream sometime in the future.
Interesting.
So I
That's
will
really
put
neat.
a link to a wonderful book on ice cream in the description. It's by Laura B. Wise, and it's really,
That
really
I know for a
interesting.
fact is
So
in the
you can
Culinary
read
Institute
that
of
if you
America's
just
library.
can't wait. And
I've
speaking
seen that book.
of not
I've
waiting,
seen that book.
I'm not waiting any longer to try this Parmesan ice cream.
All right.
So once it's
how
turned and
is this?
frozen,
Let's
then
see.
it's ready. Now you can eat it right now. It's going to be a little bit more like soft serve, but they would have eaten it like that at the time. Though he's not specific, and he does mention freezing it in molds, which would make it quite hard. So you can put it into the freezer for a few hours to kind of replicate that. It's probably going to be more like ice cream that you get at the store today. But for me, I can't wait, so I'm eating it now. And here we are, 18th century Parmesan cheese ice cream. It is getting melty pretty fast, which actually matches a lot of the descriptions of 18th century ice cream, so that works. Can't tell if I smell the cheese or not. I really was worried that it was going to be like overpoweringly smelly.
I do have an ice cream
but
machine. Hold on.
Give it a try.
I do have an ice cream machine. I might.
In the words of Montgomery Burns, I know what I hate. And I don't hate this.
Huh.
In fact, it's really good. 1 second.
Huh.
It's so smooth and creamy and sweet, and the Parmesan is there, but it's not. If I didn't know it was Parmesan, I don't know that I would know that it was Parmesan. It's like this interesting savory flavor, but it doesn't taste like cheese, and it's not like overly salty or anything. It's actually
Interesting.
maybe my favorite thing that I've ever made on the channel. Like, I think I'm going to eat the entire thing that I've made, not in one sitting. But ice cream stays. It's delicious. This is very, very good. This is very, very good. One of my favorite comedians, Lou Costello, his dying words were, "That was the best ice cream soda I ever tasted." And I don't know that this is the best ice cream I've ever tasted, but it's up there. I mean, I'm still gonna go with chocolate and
Interesting.
peanut butter, but this is really,
You
really
know what?
good.
I might have to actually try this.
Shockingly good.
I might have to actually try
Anyway,
this.
You should definitely make it. It's not that hard. So make sure to follow me on Instagram and click the link in the description
I
for your free
might
trial
have
of
to
Wondrium.
actually try
And
this. I might have to actually try this. Wait. It's not a lot of parm compared to other ingredients by weight. That's true. I might have to actually try this. Holy shit.